Hey everybody, it's Creed from InfiniteCoolness.com, and I have crawled out of my cave to tell you about some brand new superpowers that every artist should know about. It's the spooky specter of AI art. Everyone's saying, oh, it's going to put everybody out of work. No, it's going to give you amazing powers you never even knew you could have. Now let me just show you a little bit. I've been doing a lot of this stuff lately. Let me just show you just a little bit of what I've been doing. Now, I started off with the basic version that everybody's been into is DALL-E Mini, which is now called Crayon because it had nothing to do with DALL-E and they didn't like the name. It was confusing people, so they moved it over to Crayon. And it's a free, easy access, rudimentary. It does small little sort of blurry versions of AI art, but it'll give you a good idea of what you can do with the stuff. And what I've been making on that is monsters. As you can see here, this isn't a single output. This is a compilation of my greatest hits. And it took me a while to come up with a big convoluted story to type in there that'll give these kind of monsters. But I just decided to sort of set up a surreal Halloween scene where there's giant monsters roaming around the neighborhood. So I mean, stuff like this is all pretty horrific. And you can have blood, which you can't have on a lot of the other AIs. There's a lot of limitations on some of them. Here's some more gruesome. It's a little difficult to have the houses super decorated. I want to have how Halloween nuts have a lot of Halloween stuff in their yard. It was hard to try to get that and still get the monsters. So I just got mostly the monsters here. But here you see a jack-o'-lantern in one of them. And so it's far from perfect. And these are really weird. And I just ask it for something weird and it shoots back something weird. But these are pretty horrific. Really, that guy's coated in blood. But if you saw these are terrifying. Look at this guy. It looks like he's half melted. Awesome. This is the kind of output I tried to get from DALL-E Mini, and I was pretty happy with these. Unfortunately, I can't really so far duplicate this process on one of the better, higher resolution AIs, but I have come up with a method to use these images from DALL-E Mini and feed it through the other AIs and have them fix it up. So I'm working on that. But just to get started with AI, I recommend Crayon. I'll put a link with this video, but it'll give you an idea of what you can do. Like all these horrific monsters. There's some more. There's a little bit of gelatinous translucency on these guys. Some glowing eyes on this guy here. That guy looks like he just ate somebody. That's awesome. There's a two-headed one. That guy's really coated in blood. Guy's got a mohawk. These are just... I love how horrific these are. There's some more. This guy's all teeth and eyes. Awesome. So that was what I started with, because to get into AI, the first one I got onto was DALL-E, and you have to get on a waiting list. And it took a couple of months before I could get on that. So I was just using DALL-E Mini to sort of do what I could do in the meantime. But and this isn't. I wouldn't consider this anything like my real art. I wasn't really planning on doing anything with these. It was just something fun to do. But once you get onto one of the real AIs, then it becomes an actual art tool for you to make actual art with. And it's pretty cool. I've made over 140 pieces in a month of finished art, not this stuff. Finished art that I could print on t-shirts or whatever. So let me see here. Okay, so this was DALL-E Mini. This is what I get into. And you can do lots of stuff. It all depends. The thing about AI is everybody's going to have a different journey using it. And if I tried to teach you how to do it like I do it, then you're not going to learn how to do it like you do it. So what I would do is I would just point the way. So I'll put a link to the new Crayon website, and you can test this out. And you can have a lot of fun with this, and it's free. A lot of the other ones aren't free. They're usually on a point system. You have to buy points, and then it costs you points to make art, which that's what kind of sucks, because you want to be able to freely make your stuff and not worry about, oh, is this worth points, or how many points is this going to cost me? And if that factors in, that's gonna rein back your art. But it is what it is. Okay, so that was my adventure with DALL-E Mini, and I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. And I was signed up for the real DALL-E, and I was like, okay, that'll be fun too, something to tinker around with. And then I started making art with it, and look this. Now it generates a square image, and that's the very first thing I found out how to do. and it's everywhere. And actually, DALL-E, they changed their tools around, so you can just add on to the image you make. So I had a trick for extending these out, but you don't even need that now. You can just tell DALL-E to add a bottom onto your art, or top, or side, or whatever you want. It's called outpainting, but it costs more points too, which is the problem. Now I started with a series of VR related stuff because I use VR every day. So I wanted and AI and VR, it's all cutting edge technology, so I thought it mixed well together. So I did a series of over 70, right now I have done over 70 pieces of VR related art. Like this guy, this wizard with big horns. And some of them come out pretty much like what you see, and then I extended them or whatever. But some of them needed extensive Photoshop work, probably a couple hours worth. You kind of get a mix. You'll get some you can just use immediately, which are great. It's like, oh, good, I just got one I can just, I extend it. I fix up the contrast and the color, and, I adjust everything through Photoshop anyway. But I mean, there's some that need minimal work, and that's excellent. That saves a lot of time. So there's this guy. I'm just going to show some of these. This is not all of them, because I don't want to show 70 pieces on one video. You shouldn't need a snack and a nap to finish the video. So I'm just going to show a few of these. But I mean, look at these. These are amazing. These are me coaxing art out of the AI. Some of my very first ones. This is one of my first ones I did. And I didn't keep track of what prompts I used, but people treat prompts like it's a magic thing. Almost like when people ask, oh, what pencil do you use, or what? And they think, oh, if I get that pencil out. No, the prompts aren't a recipe for this exact image anyway. It's just a general thing. So I'm not worried about what the prompt was. You can figure out your own prompts to make your own stuff. That's the best way to do it anyway. Learn your own way to interact with the AI. But I did this wizard guy. Oh, there's the devil in VR. And I found it really difficult, probably because of DALL-E's filters. But if I just say the devil, they won't give me the traditional red devil that you think of. So I had to really meander around what I wanted and try to over explain. So there's some things that you can't really be straightforward, or they'll just go, no, we're not going to give you the devil. So here's the devil that I kind of coaxed out of them. There's a sort of a biker chick in VR. One of my favorites, an alien in VR. And I think with this one, what I added was the ship, and then I had to extend the picture. There's a zombie in VR. Looks like he possibly could be underwater. That's not recommended for the headset, by the way. This one's one of my most extensive ones. I clipped this mantis, or parts of him, from an old public domain comic. I'll probably do a whole video just on this piece. But then I've had DALL-E extend the background and draw more of what would have been there. And then I got this vortex and put this all together, put the AI helmet on him. So this one was really extensive. I think this was 2 or 3 hours of Photoshop to make this, based on getting all the parts from DALL-E. And then, there's a ghost. It's another composite. There wasn't a ghost here. This cemetery is from a separate thing. Stuff like that. That's why I say this is a superpower. Normal people that don't draw, they're going to just type in, Chewbacca eating a hamburger and go, oh, look what I made. And it's still square. It's just a novelty to a lot of people. But if you're an artist, you can get stuff that you can make into a real piece of art. You can get all the resources from DALL-E. So there's a ghost in VR. Oh, there's a pharaoh in VR. That's kind of a vector style, which I don't usually do. That's what I love about this too, is I'm able to make stuff in styles that I don't really know how to work in and haven't really touched much. I don't paint. I mostly do line art illustration. So yeah, there's a pharaoh in VR. As we all know, they had VR back then, but it was sort of blocky. So there it is. And then, there's another thing. I don't usually draw a lot of differentiation between races. It's not really a big deal with me. I'm not great with different tones. I'm not sure what to do. So here we go. There's a beautiful VR priestess. That's something I wouldn't have been able to do. And it's excellent. I coaxed that out of DALL-E. There's a werewolf in a really painter kind of almost watercolor sort of style. He's pretty awesome. The Thunder Pug. And I just basically just set a giant pug in VR, and they had him out in the desert. Look at the scale of this guy. Look at it. It's awesome. This is one of my favorite ones. The old Thunder Pug. Look at that. All right. Oh, there's a leprechaun in VR. I'm just trying to get a wide variety for this collection because it's all going on print on demand. I have a store. I'll put the link below for my VR collection. It's called VR Visions on Redbubble. That's what all this stuff is for. And all of these, because they're rectangular. Now, at the time, Dolly didn't have their outpainting, is what they call it. So I had a trick where I'd basically get 2 or 3. I'd get the top, the middle, and the bottom, and I'd stitch them all together. So that's why these are shaped like a real piece of art. But there's a leprechaun in VR, and that's a very painterly style, which I do not have and can't really do. Oh, here's a sort of a more realistic one. It's not perfect, but I just wanted to do a pumpkin in a VR helmet. And then I also asked Dolly for these stickers. Like, this thing is just amazing. I just said, I think something like funny Halloween stickers to put on this. And they went, how about this one? And now I'm like, yes, exactly. Thank you very much, man. Here's one. It's sort of a knockoff. I said garbage can monster. And we all know there's a famous garbage can monster, but, he doesn't have big talons like this guy. But he's playing VR, because, what else are you going to do in a garbage can? You gotta while the time away, right? There's a zombie in VR. I believe this was, I said 90s gaming magazine style, which I didn't even know that was a style, but this is what I got. I think that came out really awesome. I started to get into another AI, which is Stable Diffusion. And you can actually run that on your computer, so it doesn't cost points. So, of course, I get into it. And a lot more of my stuff is coming from that because of the not needing to buy points. Dolly doesn't let you get likenesses or of known people or upload faces, or there's a lot of limitations. And Stable Diffusion doesn't have that limitation. So you can just say a celebrity and it'll do its best. So I said Salma Hayek taking a selfie in VR, I believe is what I said. And now this one's a little racy, but it's not adult. That's what she looks like. So, there we go. There's Salma Hayek in VR in the pool, which is not recommended, but that looks like her. So that was my first, that's from my VR collection. And that's just I've done 70 of those. Now I've started a Halloween collection because it's that time of year. And so I've sort of switched over, and I'll get back to my VR collection. What I want to do is get 100 in each collection, at least. And that should be easy because I do 5 or 6 a day. Basically, I've been using AI every day now. I make 6, maybe 10 pieces a day. And my normal art was taking me maybe a week per piece because there's a lot of detail inking and stuff. And the people that don't like AI art will say, that you just pressed a button and did that. Well, no, I didn't press a button and do it. I pressed a button and got some resources, and then usually a lot of time in Photoshop to make a good piece of art. You're not going to get just finished art from an AI. There's problems, there's issues, there's things to work around. There's certain ways to tell it things to try to coax it to do the right thing. It's sort of like having an assistant that'll do all your rendering for you, but he also doesn't speak great English and doesn't understand you sometimes. So he may give you something and it's like, no, that's absolutely not what I was looking for. But then it's up to you to try to communicate to him. And that's how you can make some good art. And people say that, well, now everybody can do that. Well, yeah, everybody can get some art from the AI, but have it be a finished piece of good quality art that takes art skills and art knowledge that I plug the AI into all my art skills, all my art knowledge, all my Photoshop skills, all my knowledge of how it should be, and then I make it like that. So it's a helper. It's like having a bullpen full artist, and I put out, hey, I need this. And then I get all these results back, and I'm like, no, crap. Oh, there's one I can work with. And then I work with it. But AI's been an amazing superpower for me because I've made over 140 pieces between this and my Halloween collection. I now have Stable Diffusion on my own computer, which I can run, but it doesn't run as fast as these websites you can use for points. So I usually run a batch in the background and then you get it later on, but it's free. So that's amazing. And now I'm not going to get into teaching you how to use the AI and all this stuff because, like I said, you need your own journey. But I will point to resources that I've used myself. So there are a few YouTubers I want you to, if you're interested in learning more about this stuff, I'll link a few YouTubers below that I follow that have taught me the stuff. And you'll basically get the same starting information I had, and then start your own journey to make your own kind of art with the AI. Now, I really love DALL-E, especially because it makes not super realistic stuff, more illustrated, more cartoony style I can get out of it. And the other ones, they really want to go just realistic fantasy or sci-fi, and like really on the realistic side, which is great. But stable diffusion, I find right now, especially because it's free, it is the best. But it can't get the cartoony stuff that DALL-E does, that I've found so far. There's another one that's very popular called Midjourney, and I have tried Midjourney. It was on, at the time, it was on a Discord. It may still be. They give you some points to start and try it out, and I used all those points, and I think I got one thing that was okay. Basically, it's super. Everything they make is super detailed, which sounds great, but everything always is super over amazingly detailed. I don't need everything to have every little granule of detail into it. It's a distracting style after a while. Like it becomes a one-trick pony, and it's a good style, but I don't want everything to be in that style, and that's what Midjourney does for me. I couldn't get anything really awesome out of it that I liked, and especially since I like the sort of a smooth, painterly, cartoony kind of style, if I can get it. And Midjourney absolutely doesn't have that I can find. But for super over realistic, over detailed stuff, Midjourney's great. It does have a wow factor until you're sick of that style. But you know, it's everybody's gonna have a different adventure with these. But you have to realize every AI has a completely different style. They work from a different database of information they were taught. And this is just my first video. I just wanted to show a little bit of what I'm doing here. If you want to see all of my AI art, it's all at DeviantArt/Creed Stonegate. It's also linked from my website, infinitecoolness.com. And right now, my horror store is linked on infinitecoolness.com too. It's on Redbubble. So I have a lot of stuff in the works. I'm building up these stores. I'm working on new art every day. And actually, the big benefit I'm getting from it is by adding new art every day to DeviantArt, which I never could make enough art to post every day on DeviantArt. But posting every day on DeviantArt is really making things super take off. And every fourth or fifth image I post goes mini viral, like a few thousand views in a couple hours kind of thing, which I didn't know DeviantArt could even do. And I've been on DeviantArt like 11 years or something. So that's basically my whole art world has changed a lot with me getting AI. I just wanted to put out some thoughts there on AI. Don't be scared of it. Don't think it's bullshit. It's not. It's the future. There's already a Photoshop plugin for it. There's already a rudimentary way to teach Stable Diffusion your art style and have it work in your style. It sort of works now. It's going to be an amazing thing once it's all ironed out. And none of this stuff is going to go away. So this is the most amazing thing I've had since Photoshop got layers. When Photoshop got layers, that blew my mind. And I've used it ever since. Is one of the main things I use in my Photoshop work is layers. Well, this is the new layers, if not more. So that's my initial thoughts on AI art. It's amazing. It's a superpower. You should claim your power and do amazing things with it. Don't be scared of it. Don't worry about it. It's not the bullshit that the haters say it is. It's amazing. It's really amazing. So I'll be making more of these. I'll be showing off more stuff. And until then, take her easy. This video was brought to you by my sticker store, Infinite Coolness on Etsy. The only place you'll find Inhumanoid stickers. I've got the Jetsons family, I've got Lydia and Beetlejuice, I've got Gravity Falls characters, Garfield's Halloween Adventure, the Cereal Monsters, Real Ghostbusters, Master Universe, Bucky O'Hare, Captain N, the GoBots, and many, many more. So if you like pop culture, especially the retro stuff, you won't find better stickers than mine. So check out the store for the coolest cartoon stickers you've ever seen.